massive hole. No, really, it's massive. They're digging a 10,000 meter, or just under 33,000 feet, borehole in the Taklamakan Desert, located in the oil-rich Xinjiang region. The hole will go through 10 layers of the Earth's crust, reaching the Cretaceous system, which contains rocks that are 145 million years old. The first break in the mud occurred at 11:46 a.m. on Tuesday, and will take 457 days to complete. The mission will try to learn more about the Earth's internal structure, and also test deep underground drilling technologies. Missions like this can also help in learning about mineral and energy resource, and also the risks with geological events such as volcano eruptions and earthquakes. This won't be the largest hole in history though. That will still be the Russian Kola super deep borehole, built on the Kola Peninsula near the Norwegian border, which has a depth of 12,262 meters, just over 40,000 feet.
Why it took
I think there's a lot for us to learn, you know. So they again that deep hole is to perform a research, because there are some discoveries that maybe they might uncover, and that will, you know, really change our world. There are some minerals that we are yet to discover. There are some discoveries, or there are some layers that we are yet to reach, and I believe that excavation, or that work they want to do, is really going to help them learn so much.
2,500 years to build the Great Wall of China. I mean, I don't want to say they are lazy, but you see, the Great Wall of China is not some sort of a small wall. It is a series of fortifications that stretch for over 13,000 miles, which is almost twice the size of Mariana Trench depth. While the construction of the wall began as early as the 7th century BC, it continued up until the 17th century AD. And also, the wall was built in some of the most challenging terrain in the world, including mountains, deserts, and forests, which made construction even more difficult and time-consuming.
Wow, guys, it looks like a spaceship. Wow.
When did the Chinese land on the moon?
I have no idea.
2013. Did you ever see the video?
No.
So the Chinese landed on the moon in 2013. And they released a video for it. But pretty quick, that video was taken down. And they said, no, it's just a joke. Because it was so bad. It was so fake. Because they didn't have, you know, Kubrick, you know?
This is a joke.
Guys, so I think this hit the nail on the head. Why? Because, you know, no one has ever gone to the moon before. So I think the conspiracy theory about no one ever going to the moon is really true. Because if China is trying to fake the moon landing, then just imagine. And what US also claim is also false, because no one has ever been on the moon.
One show that happened over the weekend in China, and it is absolutely terrifying. They broke 2 world records. The first one is the most drones controlled by a single computer, and the second one is the biggest drone show in the world, with about 10,000 drones that are flying in perfect coordination. Now this is terrifying, because imagine if instead of using this technology to do a nice light show like this one, these drones were swarming your city and killing everybody on sight. This is now possible with this technology. We've already seen it in Ukraine, where drones are proving to be so incredibly useful that human soldiers are actually becoming useless. You can control a drone safely from a distance to go kill people or destroy $1,000,000 tanks with just $100 or $1,000 flying drone. We've all seen the Black Mirror episode showing how dangerous these tiny drones could be. The future of war is all about drones, and right now China is years ahead of any other countries, and this is absolutely terrifying.
This is true, guys. You can see how beautiful it is. Some things can be done only in China. Look at how creativity. They are so creative, using drones for this artwork. They're just amazing, guys.
The Great Wall of China, one of the biggest wonders of the world, no? They say this side is, see, where they throw the arrows to the enemies, and that's why they built this giant wall, to protect China from their enemies. But you know what's interesting and very curious? This side is outside China. This side is China, and this side is outside China. Meaning, this wall, the history is a lie. This wall was not built to protect China from these enemies. It's the enemies which are in this side are protecting themselves from China. So, the Chinese did not build this wall. Who built this wall? I'll tell you, research the Tartarian Empire, yeah, which was in all this area, and they were defending themselves from the Chinese, not the other way around. History is a lie, geography is a lie, science is a lie. They lied to us.
Wow, guys, there's so many things about history that you have no idea of, guys. So if it's a lie, if the Great Wall was never built by China, then just imagine the lies that we've heard or learned for years. What is China hiding, guys? Ooh. Can just be an image, does?
Menu gate. Menu gate? This man, his name is Cody, lives in Atlanta. Walked out of his apartment and noticed every single door in his hallway had a Chinese menu. 3 days later, still there. He's like, everyone in my hall has not opened their door. And then 5 days, still there. So he went down to the parking garage and looked at the cars covered in dust. He's like, that's weird. And then he's like, okay, this is like freaking me out. Went through his whole apartment building, couldn't find a fire alarm. Finally, found one. He's like, I need to know. Who's it? There's supposed to be 800 people living in this apartment building. No one came out.
Because he had previously checked, he'd gone outside at night, and there were lights on.
Yeah.
Well,
There's some pyramid-like structures or hills in China as well.
Hundreds and hundreds of them. They haven't excavated a single one. Not one. And the famous tomb of the first emperor is also a pyramid. It has also not been excavated. The terracotta army around it has been found.
The terracotta army is amazing.
Army was buried around its edges. That within the pyramid is a lake of mercury. There are mechanical devices in there which will fire arrows at you if you go in. There's a whole story about how intensely protected it is, and up to this day it's not been excavated.
That's so crazy. How could someone leave that alone? They found the temple of the first emperor of China. They buried him 2,200 years ago, and they protected him with terracotta statues of soldiers. You ever seen this? No. And they're terrified to go into the tomb because there's all these writings about it having rivers of mercury and booby trapped, and they're so concerned. Like trying to send a scientist through there and trying to open it up, even 2,200 years later, that there literally might be rivers of mercury. That's pretty wild. Some Indiana Jones. And this is the very first emperor of China. And as they uncovered more and more and more, they found a literal army. I don't know what the number of these terracotta statues of soldiers, but it's insane. Wow. And this is all lined up in front of his tomb.
In 2000.
Wow. So I think that the design that's just to, depict the emperor and his people or his team or his army. But the issue is that why are they afraid to, do research and go deep into the tomb to know what is really hidden about that emperor? There's a lot to learn.
2, researchers were shocked to discover a series of well-arranged metallic pipe-like structures in China. These strange structures were embedded in the rocks around the Mount Baigong. The pipelines were discovered next to Kadim Basin,
which is located at the foothills of the Himalayan highlands. The harsh climate of this area has made it inhospitable throughout human history. The most important discovery was a 50-60-meter-high pyramid-like protrusion. This protrusion is surrounded by a system of well-organized pipe-like structures that lead to Lake Tosunhu, a saline water lake approximately 300 feet away. The origin of these Baigong pipelines and who built them are still a mystery. Was this any sort of ancient research center, or some sort of ancient extraterrestrial facility or base? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes. Another hypothesis is that it was constructed by prehistoric human civilization, using techniques that were lost to subsequent humans.
To this end, Qin spent over 3 decades forcing more than 700,000 laborers to construct the 4-layered subterranean city that would serve as his resting place. At the heart of the ancient complex is one of China's greatest mysteries.
The tomb actually covers a very large area. Only a few areas and surrounding the border part of the tomb complex have been excavated.
Archaeologists believe that underneath this central burial mound is the chamber containing Emperor Qin's remains.
I'm back with another conspiracy theory. In 2015, this video surfaced from China. Witnesses saw this transparent but still very visible city skyline in the sky. This happened again in 2017. You can see this city skyline in the sky. And again in 2019, a woman in China took this video of a very similar scene, which she called beautiful, like a fairyland. Scientists believe this is a phenomenon called Fata Morgana, basically a mirage. This phenomenon is named after the Fata Morgana mirage in Italy. This is how a mirage is explained, so pause if you want to try to figure that out. But commenters on YouTube think that these floating cities in China could be something more, like testing of holographic technology. To hear the full-length episode, check us out on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts.
Yeah, so what if it is real? What if it's really a flying city that, they want to, target as conspiracy? Now, what if there are cities that are just phantom, guys? They appear and they just vanish. There's a lot to learn, guys. There are so many things that we are here to discover, and it is just freaking scary.
Have you ever encountered a well that moves you to tears? This isn't just any well, it's the most remarkable well in all of China. According to legend, if you are a truly devoted son, you should wear a special robe on the 30th day of the 7th lunar month. When you look through the opening in the center of the well, something extraordinary happens. You can catch glimpses of your past lives, your current existence, and even see the loved ones who have occupied your thoughts day and night. This enchanting well is located next to the Temple of the Flesh on Mount Jiuhua, a site rich in history and mystery. What's fascinating is that, no matter the weather, whether it's windy or raining, the well remains completely dry. Yet, when you peer into its depths, you may find yourself witnessing the karma of your past lives and seeing your deceased parents. Tourists travel from all over, eager to connect with the loved ones in their hearts. Many are so deeply touched by the experience that they find themselves crying right there on the spot, overwhelmed by emotion. So, is this legend true, or is it simply a captivating story?
Nobody builds something that big, underground, just for fun.
Check this out. Give me some volume on this.
The Longyu Caves, located in the village of Xian Beichun in Zhejiang Province, China, are a massive and majestic ancient underground world, as well as an ongoing mystery that has confounded scientists from every discipline that has researched them. 24 hand-carved caves encompassing a staggering 30,000 square meters have been found so far. Despite their magnitude and the work required to build them, no indication of their construction, or even their existence, has been discovered in archival sources. Despite the fact that the whole excavation involved about 1 million cubic meters of stone, there is no archaeological evidence explaining where that amount of stone went, nor is there evidence of the work being done. Furthermore, there isn't a single historical source that mentions them, which is extremely remarkable given the scope of the undertaking. Despite decades of analysis, the Longyu Caves mystery remains essentially unsolved.
I think we burrowed in. We had to. That's like an ancient survival shelter.
Well, they have them in Turkey as well.
Dragons are actually... Yeah, so guys, anytime I watch such videos, I become so, I don't know, so deep, because there are so many mysteries that we wish we will uncover. But it's about, why is the government, why are people in authority trying to, pull us out? They don't want us to discover these things. There's a need for us to know our past, what those of old did, so we can build upon their hard work.
Real. Yes, you heard that right. Many think of dragons as fictional creatures. But what if I told you they were actually real? In 2010, a Chinese man named Wei Long decided to uncover the existence of dragons. He had heard many ancient tales of dragons that have been whispered through generations, roaming in the misty mountains of Hubei. So he embarked on a perilous journey to capture a dragon on camera. Wei searched for months but found nothing. However, one day he managed to find a hidden cave in the Rocky Mountains. The cave was about 40 feet tall. As he delved deeper into the darkness, the cave's walls seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Then deep into the darkness, he heard a deep growl. Then there was a colossal dragon. Its scale is shimmering like a liquid emerald, its eyes burning with an ancient wisdom. Wei, in shock and panic, dropping his camera into the ground, forgetting his mission, ran out the cave and into the forest. As he turned around, his eyes couldn't believe what else came out the cave. He then quickly took out his phone and recorded. What he recorded will shock you. After that day, the villagers went back and found no dragon, as if it was never there, and the video which Wei recorded, no one believed it and stated as an editing hoax. Follow for more, and if you love dragons, check out the link in bio.
There's a huge hole in the ground in China where they discovered this entire, totally separate ecology. And the geology is totally separate from what's above land. And there's light, there's trees and forests and lakes and rivers and all this stuff down there. And yes, it's real. As a matter of fact, there's a few places like that on Earth. There's another one down in South America. Now, these things exist. The one I was trying to go to was a 4-hour hike to get there. And 4-hour hike, and then you have to, it's very, very rugged terrain. And then you have to rappel about 200 meters into this opening in the earth, and then you land in an area where there's an actual beach. Underground, there's a beach, okay? And then it's got its own system down there. Forests, jungles, there's light that gets down there, animals that live down there and everything else. So there are these giant openings in the earth that open up. No, not a hollow earth, but you got to realize the mass of the earth itself allows for massive openings in areas that could hold maybe even millions of people. Because we only live on the outside surface, the skin. There's so much mass on this planet, in terms of the depth that it has. In there are huge openings that go on for hundreds of miles, sometimes maybe even for thousands of miles. These honeycomb-shaped openings that life exists down there.
China. So as we live on the surface of the earth, out of those worlds that we've just discovered, those big spaces that open up into the earth, and there's a whole ecosystem, there's a whole ecology right there. There's a lot for us to learn, there's a lot for us to discover. So if inside that hole was a sea, then wow, guys, there's a lot for us to do. But let me know your thoughts on the comment section on this very conspiracy theory.
Found dinosaurs on this mysterious island. In 2023, China sent an expedition consisting of 15 explorers and researchers to explore an uncharted island that they recently discovered. Officially, it was reported as a mission to lay claim to other lands, but unofficially, it was rumored that China had found dinosaurs on that island. 4 crew members that were on the expedition reported back that they had found 2 new species of dinosaurs, but immediately retracted their statement and were never heard from again. While another crew member, now labeled as a psychiatric patient, just said, "There is so much more out there that we don't know." Well, it's been long speculated that the Earth is larger than we're told, and with Japan recently discovering 7,000 new islands within their territory, maybe it's not a stretch that.
Isn't the Chinese spy balloon story seem suspicious?
Chinese spy balloon.
Chinese spy balloon.
Balloon.
With all the media attention focused on the balloon, it's possible that it's just a distraction from something much larger happening behind the scenes, hidden from public view. What do you think it can be?
Was the Great Wall of China built to keep the Chinese out? This is the mystery, because the fortified part of the wall faces China. Now this doesn't make any sense. Who built the wall?
Yeah.
See, many people argue that it was the Tartarians because there's 3 maps, one in 1603, 1623, and 1754, and these maps of Asia depict the historical area of Tartaria. But people argue saying that this does not prove the existence. This is still a conspiracy theory. So here's some facts. Tartar was a term used by the Europeans to describe several different groups of people. During the invasions in the 13th and 14th century, these people had destructive conquests and violent nature. So the term Tartars originated from Tartarius, the Latin word for Hades or hell. They were described as the Antichrist, and they wanted to punish the Christian world. So is this a groundbreaking revelation or a conspiracy theory that needs debunking? Now here's the question, could the Tartarian of Empire have been the ones that built the wall, and did they have connection with fallen angels?
What is going on inside this sinkhole? Scientists in China have found a giant sinkhole with an ancient forest growing inside of it. The sinkhole spans 192 meters deep and has trees that are 40 meters tall. It is also said that there are species that we have not even discovered living within the caves of the sinkhole. With all the evidence that's presented, is it that hard to see how the hollow earth theory might be possible? That's why many people are wondering.
So this hollow earth theory, guys, there's a lot for us to learn about this. So in the videos that we watch, you all saw that this sinkhole contains its own ecology or ecosystem, whereby it had its own sea. So it means that if there were other species of animal that we've never seen them, but they live in that sinkhole, that means there might be people living in there as well. So let me know your thoughts on this. Is it fake or is it a fact? Guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.